guys are doing well with the challenge. We are heading into week number 4. So this video is the final stretch, pun intended. In these next several stretches, we'll be focusing on some hip mobility, back flexibility, and really opening up those shoulder blades. And after doing these stretches, you will feel a whole lot better. So follow along. Let's get started. So for the first movement, come up onto seated position, onto your heels. Now to get some dorsiflexion in your foot, come onto those toes, or curl those toes underneath you and sink back down onto your heels. Now take those arms up, and as you bend forward, bend your wrists to get a nice stretch. And then we're going backwards, slight back bend, taking those wrists and bending it the opposite way. Now forward. And when you go back, sink onto your heels. Get a nice back bend in. Really work with your breath here as you go backward. Inhale, and as you fold over, exhale. So inhale, exhale down. Last time, inhale, and exhale. And here we'll be focusing on bringing some mobility into the ankles and plantar flexion of your foot. So opening up this knee, it'll be coming onto your toes, so rolling onto them. Use your hand for support if need be, and go nice and easy. Really bringing some movement in. If you haven't done this movement before, it might feel uncomfortable at first, but try it out. Go into the range of motion that feels most comfortable for you. And this movement is really good to help those ankles, make sure they're getting movement in so that you avoid any injuries when you do cardio, running, or walking. This will also help prepare us for the down dog and up dog sequence that we're about to go into next. So for down dog, place your hands on the floor, your wrists in line with your shoulders, and come into high plank position. And now shift those hips backward so that your weight goes into your heels come in contact with the floor or as close as you can get it. And really feel those heels sinking down. You'll feel a stretch going down your calves and your hamstrings. And press your chest closer towards your legs. Feel a nice stretch in your back as well. And now we'll roll forward. You'll be rolling over those toes and coming into upward facing dog with your feet against the floor. And now to go back into down dog, lift up your pelvis, roll over those toes, back into down dog. So we'll repeat this sequence for a couple more times. So come up, lift those heels, come onto your toes, and roll your back forward, roll onto those toes, place those feet down, and really feel the stretch here in your abdominals, and keep those shoulder blades lifted back. Now lift that pelvis, start rolling your back, rolling over those toes, back into down dog. Now one more time, lift those heels, come onto your toes, curve your back, and once you start bringing that pelvis closer to the floor, you transition off of your toes and rolling onto the tops of your feet. So lift that pelvis up, back into down dog, hold it for a couple of seconds, sink those heels lower towards the floor, your chest closer towards your legs. Come back into high plank, lower those knees, take them slightly out and sink down onto your heels. We're going into child's pose. Rest here for a couple of moments, and then we'll go on to the rest of the stretches. The next exercise will be bringing some mobility into our hips and working with our balance. So from the seated position, come onto your knees, your feet about shoulder width apart, and you can have your hands on your hips, and we're bringing one foot out into lunge position. So the goal here is, when you alternate feet, to take that foot out without taking it out to the side and wobbling over. So here is just in and out. To help you with this movement, push your pelvis a bit forward and put the weight into the tops of your foot of the opposite leg that you're lifting up. So shift that forward, place weight into your right foot, and take that other foot out in front of you. This movement really, you'll need to focus on your balance here, and it'll help improve your hip mobility as well. So now we'll also bring in a slight twist in our torso with this movement. So once you bring one foot forward, bring your hands out in front of you, and your right arm will go backward, and your gaze will follow your hand. So you'll get a nice twist in your torso. Bring that other foot out, bring your left hand back and forward. Switch legs. For the next movement, we'll go into locust pose, and this will help bring flexibility into the back. So come onto your stomach, and lay the tops of your feet out on the floor, your arms right beside you. And on your next inhale, you're gonna lift your chest and lift those legs up off the floor. You'll feel the tension in your lower back and those muscles flexing. And try to lift your legs higher and your chest higher for just your hips to be in contact with the floor. Lower down. Take a couple of breaths to recuperate. Now we'll go back up. Remember to breathe here in this movement. Come back down. Interlace your arms, or if you can't interlace your arms, grab a strap or a towel to help you extend out those shoulder blades and those arms. And next inhale, bring it up, lift your chest, lift those legs, extend out those arms to help bring that chest up even further. And lower back down. For the next exercise, take those arms out across from you, and we are going to do scorpion pose to bring some mobility into our backs and our shoulders. So your right arm, so both your arms will stay on the floor, always in contact with the floor, and your leg will go behind you at a diagonal, feeling the twist in your torso. And now switch legs. If your foot doesn't come into contact with the floor, that's okay. You can keep it in midair. You're still benefiting from the twist in your torso and opening up those shoulder blades. So keep those palms on the floor. It's just your leg going back behind you and feeling the twist in your torso. So last time. And come on up onto your heels. And we are finished with our stretches and bringing some more mobility into our hips, shoulders, and back. Come back to this video and try out these exercises to bring more movement into these areas.